I'm gonna go ahead and get started since it's 9 o'clock, and again, we'll just jump into a little bit of a introduction, and then we'll talk a little bit about some continuing education stuff. I want to introduce myself. My name is Zane, and I am one of the founders of Sukavu. And my job and role in the company is to manufacture the products. That's what I do. I spend basically every single day working on the products and product manufacturing. So I'm pretty fortunate that I get to work with a lot of the doctors and even some of the doctors that we're going to hear from throughout this continuing education series. I get a chance to hear from them and work with them and discuss ways that we can make better products to help with specific ailments. This week has been an interesting week for me, and I'll just share a couple of things. 2 days ago, yeah, is that right? Thursday? 2 days ago, my father-in-law had a heart attack, and he had a 100% blockage in one of his major arteries. And my mother-in-law was fortunate that she happened to be right there and was able to perform CPR and was able to save him. Basically, the doctors told him he was a 3%er, that most people that have that exact thing happen, about 3% of them actually make it. And so, it really hit home again to me. Here's my father-in-law, who's been a chiropractor. His entire life is into functional medicine, into some of this stuff. And my wife and I were having this discussion that, we have a specific product that's designed for heart health. And it's my father-in-law, who's a family member, right? And wasn't taking the product. And it just is devastating to me, because I was thinking, why on earth do people that I care about, and love, and I just kind of kicked myself, because here's a man who obviously is my wife's dad and could absolutely benefit from one of the products that we make on a consistent basis. So, I would just encourage you to not be afraid and to not share, because there are people that we know and love that can be taken from us, and the drop of a hat. So this week we wanted to talk about cancer and cannabinoids, and Dr. Raymond has prepared a presentation about that. And yesterday, after I visited with my niece and my nephew, and Deshelle was with her dad, and we were meeting up, we went to a grave of my sister-in-law, who died of cancer. And so this is a very, very close subject to my family and close to me. She died of lung cancer. She'd never smoked a cigarette in her life and got lung cancer. And I remember when my brother found out about it, he called and told me. And I remember looking up online the specific type of cancer she had, and it had like basically a 0% chance of survival. And there's so much information. And I tried to get her to study some of this information that we're going to share today about how cannabinoids can help with apoptosis and killing cancer cells and different things. And she just didn't really, she was just like, no, I'm going to do my own thing. And it's hard to lose people that we care about, especially to diseases that we have, potential cures for, as well as opportunities to prevent. And I think that's one of the greatest things about cannabinoids is the prevention of major disease is also just as important as trying to fix something once we get it. So like I said, the last few days have been really kind of gut wrenching for me and heart wrenching for me to think about the people that I care about and how I have to do a better job of making sure they know what I do. My good friend Rosa, who's on here today, she and I had a conversation this week of being proud of what we do. I am very proud of what I do. I'm proud of our company. I'm proud to represent this company. I'm proud about the products we make. I love the products we make. I'm very proud of them because I know they work and they help people. So sorry, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, that I'm a little emotional this morning as we start and share this information, because I know how important it is, and I want you to feel that a little bit of a sense of urgency. 8 out of 10 people who are living struggle with diabetes, blood pressure, or overweight. right? So pretty much everybody I run into needs something that we have. So Sukavu is the culmination of a lot of hard work, years of putting things together. Um, we started Sukavu a couple years ago, but really we launched in May with everything that we have, with a new website, a new software that could calculate and give people an opportunity to build a business if they wanted to. And we introduced a couple products that we've been working on for a long time that really help with health. And so that's how our company started. We have 4 distinct missions and values, and here they are. The first is every product we make, we know where it's grown, we know how it's extracted, and we know the process of making it. And we do almost all of our manufacturing. I say almost all because there's a few products we make that we don't have the equipment to make. I don't have the equipment to make chocolate. So, but my friend who lives, or not lives, but is in the door next to us, the facility next to us, he actually makes our chocolates for us. So everything that we can, we manufacture, but if not, we do have a couple manufacturing partners who help us. We like to share information, and as a matter of fact, the information we're going to share today is incredibly valuable. We have these continuing education calls every Saturday so that you get a chance to hear from not just me, but doctors and other people who are working on more information to share about cannabinoids and about how they can benefit you and help you live a healthier and more kavu life. The third commitment and quality, or mission that we have, is to build lifelong relationships. We believe that life is a relationship business and a relationship game. That's just life. The more relationships we have, the more we connect with humanity. We think that's a good thing. And then our last is a commitment to serve other people. We like to serve others any way that we possibly can. This is a picture of my family. My screen is not up right now. It won't let me show my screen, so you can't see my smiling face, but I'm this really handsome bald guy right there, that you can see on the screen. I'm not handsome, but I did marry an amazingly beautiful woman. That's my wife. And yes, if you count them, these are our 8 kids. This son that's here, he wasn't dead. He just happened to be on a service mission. And so we put a picture of him in a picture of a picture. But these are our 8 children. They're a little bit older now. I just love this picture. This is when we were basically all together except for one. And I do this for them. I do this because I have an amazing family who I want to be able to leave a legacy for. I want them to be able to live healthy themselves. You know, our kids are growing up in a time when anxiety and depression and you know, there are a lot of mental issues that are being faced, and we know that cannabinoids can help with those. So I want my kids to live as healthy as possible and live their best lives. This is a picture of our farms. We grow our own hemp, and we know this is not a picture from the internet. This is actually one of our farms. So we know exactly the soil where it's grown. We take very good care of our plants because they produce the most amazing cannabinoids in the world for us. There are 4 distinct reasons why we feel like we're different than other companies. The first is we don't have any THC in any of our products. THC is a cannabinoid, but because of legal issues all throughout the world, and we are now sending our products all throughout the world, none of our products contain THC, which allows us to sell them legally, basically worldwide. And it also makes sure that nobody's ever going to fail a drug test. Even if you have, 0.2%, 0.3%, 0.1%, you can still fail a drug test if you have THC in the product. And so none of our products contain THC. We have got as much or more experience than anybody growing hemp. We started growing hemp in America in 2014, as soon as we were able when the first farm bill passed. And we've been extracting and making products since then. Our products are the most bioavailable. We want to make it bioavailable. As a matter of fact, a lot of people who've tried other products tell us that half of our product works as good as other companies. And then last, but certainly not least, is all of our products are third-party lab tested. We have labs on our products so that you can see our certificates of analysis so that you know you're getting exactly what we say you're getting, which is really important in this space because there's so many people who have a product, whether it's a CBD product or a fill in the blank, whatever cannabinoid product it is. But oftentimes they don't know where it comes from. They don't know where the hemp is grown. They just know that we got this product somewhere and it's cheap. So we want to make sure all of our products are lab tested so we know. This is where I spend my time. And I'm excited to have you hear today from the doctors who are going to talk about cannabinoids and how they can affect us when it comes with cancer. But I spend my time working in this space. And I share this because I think this is important. I'll give you an example. At our company, we have a product that we released about a month ago. It's actually a weight loss product, and it contains this cannabinoid right up here, THCV. Okay, but when I start to say THC, people immediately hear that and think it's going to get you high. Well, Delta 9, this THC right here, this is what is found in marijuana, right? And this is what people, when they smoke it, this is what they're using to get high. And I just want you to notice the pathway from the plant over here, from the plant to CBGVA up here, and then to its acidic form, and then into its neutral form. You'll notice that this pathway is not even close to this pathway down here for THC. It's not even close to this pathway. So although it's a cannabinoid that says THCV, it literally has nothing to do with Delta 9 THC or getting you high. Completely different pathway. And I spend my time when I'm manufacturing products focusing on these. Most people have heard of CBD. Most people have heard of THC. But very few people, when I go out and talk to them, have heard of THCV or CBGC, right? Or even down here to CBG or CBN or CBC. And those are cannabinoids that we talk about frequently. Or even this one, CBDV, which we love the CBDV, especially because we've been doing a bunch of research with it with autistic kids. And so all of these cannabinoids are important, and we're going to continue to work with all of them and trying to get them and figure out what they work best for. But when we know the pathway, it allows us to blend it with the right components to create the right product to help people live healthy. So, for example, in our brain, it can minimize levels of chronic stress. It can be an antidepressant, anti-anxiety. And then we want to know which cannabinoids are going to help do that. I actually have been researching this week with malaria. And we had somebody ask us if cannabinoids can help with malaria. And so I've been doing a bunch of research. And one of the things that malaria does is it affects your brain. And they have shown and are starting to prove that CBD, and that's the specific cannabinoid, CBD, actually helps with malaria when it comes to your brain because it's neuroprotective. When we talk about people who maybe struggle with anxiety or depression, it affects your CBD is the one that affects your brain the most. Well, then we come over here to our heart and our circulatory system, right? And I want to have better blood pressure. I want to have better cholesterol. I don't want to have, hypertension. CBG is a better for the heart and circulatory system. So we focus on CBG. Same thing when it comes to my stomach, right? If I've got issues with irritable bowel syndrome or I've got issues with maybe my intestines, CBG is generally better than any other cannabinoid for that. When it comes to pain and pain management, CBD, CBG, CBC, those work really good. So with our pain management products, we make sure that we have those cannabinoids inside of them. So for us, it's really important not just to take CBD and throw it into something. We want to focus on which cannabinoid is going to give you the best result with the best product. So this wheel that you can see here is a nice thing to be able to look at and say, oh, CBG over here, it's antiarrhythmic. Whoops, I didn't mean to cross that out, but it's antihypertensive. So it makes sense that that's what I would use if I want a heart healthy product. CBN, this one right here, it's sedative. So if I want help sleeping at night, awesome. I'm probably going to use CBN. THCV, this one right here, which we're really excited about. This is an appetite suppressant, and we're having amazing results with people being able to lose weight with THCV. CBD, right? A lot of people know about CBD. It's a fantastic immunosuppressant. It's a neuroprotective. I talked about your brain, right? It's an antipsychotic, anti-anxiety. So that's really cool. So when we talk about cancer, and that's what we're going to talk about today, this is going to play a role because we're talking about how do these cannabinoids and how do they function to kill cancer cells and create what's called apoptosis, or this death of cancer cells. And again, Dr. Raymond, I'll let the doctors talk about that. I'm going to show you what it looks like when we make a product. This is our heart healthy product. It's our nitric oxide boost. One of my favorite products. I take it every day. I have high blood pressure and I wanted to get off my blood pressure medication. And so I started taking the boost that we actually created specifically for that. And when we do it, this is what a lab report looks like. If you look at it, it's going to say we're 1 scoop, and for every scoop you get 10.3 milligrams of CBG inside of that scoop. So you can see up here, there's no THC, none detected. And we specifically focused on CBG with that product. When you go to some of our other products, for example, we make a cannabinoid oil. You're going to see in this one, we actually have 5 different and specific cannabinoids. This is a 600 milligram cannabinoid oil. It's not, we don't call it CBD oil, we call it cannabinoid oil simply because you got 542 milligrams of CBD, 23 milligrams of CBDV, 89 of CBG, 18 of CBN, and 8 of CBC. So these minor cannabinoids still play a role, and we end up with 5 distinct and unique cannabinoids in this product, which is why, and I'm going to sneak back here, when you look at this up here, we call it a real spectrum, because we're going to give you a real spectrum of as many cannabinoids as we can possibly put inside of there at this point in time. And we're going to continue to work on extracting more and more cannabinoids of these other ones that you can see here that are not detected. Again, with no THC. So Delta 9 THC, none detected. That's important for us to be able to ship it all over the world. We're not just a CBD company, we're a cannabinoid company, and we have a pro line for everybody. So the proof really is this right here. We have literally thousands of testimonials from people, from autism to fibromyalgia to PTSD to even our pet line. And that's huge for us, because if we can make products that help people feel better, then we feel like we've succeeded. We have an amazing program, by the way, and I will just share this. I'm not going to go into the business side of it today, because today's more of a continuing education piece, but you can send customers to your website. They can purchase, and we actually give them cash back. We give them cash rewards. Think of it like a Sky Miles program or something like that. Like Dick's Sporting Goods does something similar, where you go, your customers can purchase, and we actually give them money that they can use, and they can buy more products later, or they can do different things. They get cash rewards, and actually they can even cash it out and take money, whether they become just a one-time or maybe not so frequent customer at 5% cash back, or they get 10% instant cash back if they become somebody who orders on a frequent basis, like people I know who get our heart products every month or our weight loss products every month. So we are excited as a company for the future and where we're going. I want to just throw out a couple things. I'm going to scoot forward just a little bit, because again, I want to talk not so much about the business, although there's amazing opportunities. I'm going to go right to the very end. October 8th and 9th in Salt Lake City, we have our fall harvest, and everybody's invited. We're going to give you a chance if you want to come check out our extraction facility, if you want to see how we grow our plants, if you want to even see how the products are made. We're inviting you October 8th and 9th in Salt Lake City. I'm also going to tell you that I am going to be in Florida. And if somebody wanted to come to Florida, not that you want to, but if you live around Florida, by all means, you're welcome. On the 16th and 17th of September, and then on the 16th of the evening, and then the 17th, 18th, I'm going to be in Cincinnati. So if you are on this call and you ever want us to come and speak or come to an event, please let us know. We're happy to come to you. I've been to Maryland. I've been to Texas. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to get back to Texas because I actually have a flight. I've paid for a flight to Texas. And then I got kidney stones, so I wasn't able to make it. But I have a flight to Texas. So if anybody wants us to come to an event or come and speak, we would be honored and happy to do that. We're grateful that we're going to be in Cincinnati in a couple weeks. So with that being said, that's our introduction to Sukavu. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I think if I can, it looked like there might have been a chat or two. So I'm going to double check those. Oh, it looks like Tammy is the only one who had it. I'm going to see, is Dr. Raymond. Oh, hey, Dr. Raymond's on. Yay. One of the coolest individuals you will ever meet. And we're excited. I'm always excited to hear from him and learn from him. Dr. Raymond's
Hello.
Very incredible. And Dr. Raymond, we're going to turn the time over to you. I'm excited to.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Zen. Thank you very much for sharing the screen with me. I'm going to do a little presentation on the action of cannabinoids on cancer. the effect of cannabinoid in the prevention and even the treatment of cancer. And it can also serve like a complement treatment to reduce the side effect of the regular cancer treatment. So permit me to share the screen now. Okay, so we are going to talk about the effectiveness of cannabinoid in the prevention and care of cancer. Let us make the summary of some studies all around the world, and to present also the biomolecular mechanism of action of this. This is very important. Why? Because you have several products on the field, and we have to know which product are really working. So permit me to make this presentation very fast, because I did it already. We know that cancer is the main cause of mortality all around the world, and the treatment are very heavy because of their side effects. So we know that cannabinoids are now recognized as being able to help us in a natural way. We can consider them as a complementary or supplementary treatment. And we know that several testimonies demonstrate its curative action in the world. Inflammation, diabetes, cancer, hypertension, and certain chronic disease that we saw here in this presentation. We know that several international studies and publications demonstrate the effectiveness of cannabinoids in the treatment of cancer. So we are going to present rapidly certain treatment. These treatments are showing that almost all the cancers of the body can be treated, can help. Cannabinoids can help for the treatment of almost all the cancer of the body. Cannabinoids can also help for the prevention of almost all the cancer of the body. So I'm going to give you the mechanism of the use of cannabinoids as anti-cancer agents. Studies are showing that CBD is going to inhibit angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is just when there is an increase of vascularization that causes the increase of spread of the cancer also. So cannabinoids against breast cancer, for example, studies are showing that in 2012, there is a study who show the role of cannabinoids as a new therapeutic target treatment against glioblastoma. So there is also action on breast cancer. If you see this mechanism of action, we are going to see that we have receptor of these cancer cells of cannabinoid on the breast, and once this cannabinoid act on this receptor, there is a sort of activation that is leading to apoptosis. That is, apoptosis is the cellular death. Also leading to inhibition of proliferation of cellular cancer cells. There is also inhibition of metastasis. These are studies that are showing exactly the mechanism of action of this cannabinoid on cancer. So it's important to know this before going through this cannabinoid, because it's very important for the treatment of cancer that is very heavy already, and taking cannabinoid for prevention. If, for example, in a family you have somebody who died from cancer, we have to try to start taking cannabinoids as a preventive treatment. So it's been shown also that against leukemia, myelomas, and lymphomas, CBD can act also. Lung cancer is also concerned in this prevention and treatment of cancer. That is what this study is showing. This study that was in November 2014 in the Journal of Biochemical Pharmacology. So here you have all the receptors and all the cancer and all the receptors where cannabinoid act, the mechanism, and either by inhibition, autophagy, apoptosis. All these mechanisms, this slide is going to resume the mechanism of action of cannabinoid on cancer cells. Okay, so studies are showing also the action of cannabinoid on colorectal cancer. This study, published in September 2014 in the Journal of Carcinogenesis, shows that it's also the same thing against stomach cancer, and the mechanism are defined. So now, concerning the prostate cancer, that is our concern, special concern here, we are going to see that we have a certain receptor on these cells, and there is activation of this receptor CB1, CB2, GPR55 that are leading to what they call apoptosis. Apoptosis is the cellular death. That is obstruction of cell proliferation, cancer cell proliferation. And we are going to have also cell growth inhibition. Excuse me. Cell growth inhibition and sickle cell arrest, because the cell have a cycle, and when there is this multiplication of cell, it is associated with the spread of cancer. So all those mechanisms that are very complicated for everybody are showing that activation of these receptors, CB1, CB2, that you can see on your screen, GPR55, are leading to apoptosis and cell growth inhibition, sickle cell arrest. All these mechanisms are fighting against the proliferation, the spread of cancer. And this can act on the breast and also on the prostate. So if you have somebody in a family where you have this cancer of the breast or prostate cancer, it's good for the person to take cannabinoid as preventive, but they have to also control anytime all the markers of these cancers, to see how, and to make mammography, and to make also all this prostate exam to see if the evolution of this. But now the studies are showing that patients, in a group of patients who is taking this cannabinoid, there is a low rate of prostate cancer and breast cancer also. So the mechanism is known. Activation of CB1 and CB2 regulate the expression of gene and encoding to manufacture of cancer cells. That is regulation of expression of gene, because you know that the cancer cells are coded by a mechanism that is going from the nucleus of the cell. The nucleus. There is a gene in the cell that gives the cell, the cancer cell. Now, when there is cancer cell, this CBD is going to inhibit or activate regulate this mechanism of regulate this expression of gene encoding for manufacture of cancer cell. Because in the body you have certain manufacture in cells that are manufacturing proteins, cells, and when you take cannabinoids, there is donc this activation that is going to regulate the expression of this gene. So, metastasis cells reactivate this gene as soon as they are found in healthy tissue. So CBD works by modulating the expression of ED1, ED2, ED3 genes, thereby preventing the growth, spread, and progression of cancer. All the studies that we are compilated are showing this. CBD potentiates complete the effect of chemotherapy. So we know that chemotherapy is very heavy as a treatment. And when you take CBD, there is a sort of moderation of side effect, and there is a beta tolerance of this treatment. So there is also publication on cannabinoid against liver cancer, also pancreatic cancer, also skin cancer. Out of this, we have also any cancer concerning the capacity of sarcoma, bladder, ENT, biliary ovaries. And now, you see, here we have the breast. We have breast now. We have breast, and we have on the breast that we have uncontrolled mechanism of cancer is uncontrolled cancer growth, sustained angiogenesis, and metastatic capability. Pardon. So cannabinoids are going to act on this cancer cell by inducing apoptosis, that is cellular death, inhibition of proliferation, because you know that cancer is proliferation. So cannabinoids are going to inhibit the proliferation of cancer cells. Inhibition of angiogenetic signals, and also inhibition of adhesion. You know that all these mechanisms of adhesion, migration, invasion are associated with cancer, because when cancer is somewhere, it's going to make adhesion for other normal cells, and migration on normal cells, and invasion on another cells. These CBD cannabinoids are going to regulate this mechanism and inhibit adhesion, migration, and invasion. This is why everybody is living with cancer cells. So taking cannabinoid is going to prevent all these mechanisms that are leading to cancer. So we can say that the pathophysiologic mechanism uncontrolled multiplication, angiogenesis, metastasis, generalized cancer, death. So how does this cannabinoid act against cancer? By apoptosis, I explain it. We have the block proliferation of cancer cells. They fight against angiogenesis. They inhibit adhesion, migration, and invasion, as we saw before. So at a biomolecular level, what's happened? This is for our medical staff that is with us. Excuse me. It was very important to say this, because it is something new in Africa and in certain countries, and that did not adopt this cannabinoid treatment, the role of this cannabinoid on the health. Activation of CB1, CB2 receptors lead to series of chemical, neurosynaptic, and hormonal reaction causing apoptosis, inhibition of cell growth, inhibition of the cell cycle. So I think that for the presentation of today, we can conclude that Sokavu products have a good effect, can have a good effect through cannabinoids on the prevention of cancer. For those who have cancer in their family, they can use cannabinoid as preventive treatment against cancer. There is no side effect. They can just use it and see what is going on. So there is also people in certain families that are removing their breast at certain age, because when they have family with cancer, they try to do this as a preventive treatment. Let us advise people to take cannabinoid for prevention of cancer. I advise it for prevention of cancer. I advise it also as a complementary treatment to reduce the side effect of the treatment, the regular treatment of cancer. We did not say that we have to stop the cancer treatment. We said that CBD can help to better tolerate the cancer treatment. CBD can help on preventing the treatment. CBD can help to against a second cancer, because when you have cancer and you take CBD after the treatment, post-treatment treatment, you can post-treatment CBD, you can avoid to getting cancer one more time. Thank you for your attention. Okay.
Trying to unmute my screen here. Dr. Raymond, as always, you are amazing. We are very, very blessed to have you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody, like I said, this is recorded. This is great information. We're going to post it to our YouTube page again. Feel free to, reach out to the person that invited you, reach out to, anybody and share this information. Cancer kills more people worldwide than anything else. So let's continue to grow and do amazing things. Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to continue to make the best products in the world to make you proud. So thank you, everybody. Any questions? It doesn't look like, it looks like everybody's, I think he did such a great job that everybody got their questions answered. So anyhow, thanks everybody. Have a great Saturday and we'll see you soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Zane, are we going to do the call in French?
That's a question. We're happy to, if we have some French people jumping on. Good question. Dr. Raymond, do we want to do it in French? And I'll even ask.
Of course, there is no problem. I was looking on your time. There is no problem. I can do it in French. There is no problem.
Somebody just had a question, Zane. Explain CB1 and CB2 more in depth, if possible.
Well, here's what I will tell you, and again, Dr. Raymond can correct me, but every cell in your body and my body and everybody's body, you have receptors on those cells, except for fat cells. So your cells all have CB1 or CB2 receptors, and the CB1 receptor is mostly found in kind of your brain, whereas the CB2 receptors are mostly found in the cells throughout your central nervous system. And so every cell has a CB1 and CB2 receptor, either one of those. And so as a result, the way that the cannabinoids interact with those receptors, it's just the way that the cell receives the cannabinoid into its system. So hopefully that makes sense, Shelby.
So let me share the screen one more time. Excuse me.
You're okay. We had one more comment, Zane, if you can answer that while Dr. Raymond's getting all set up.
Yeah, it's about THC, right? So here's the question, and this is what I pose to them. People always ask me, they'll say, we got to have THC. And I'm like, okay, do you think you have to have CBN? And they're like, well, I don't know what CBN is. And I'm like, well, do you think you need CBC? Well, we don't know what that is, right? And again, as a company, and we always say this, there's a place for THC. And honestly, there are some really good cancer studies done with THC, but my experience is that you'll have better results with CBC, CBDV, than you will with THC when it comes to cancer. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of studies out there on it yet. So that's just an education piece that we have to educate, we should have to educate more on. And the best thing we can do is invite them to these calls on Saturday.
Je vais rappeler, s'il te plaît. Merci. Je rappelle.
Does anybody else have any questions before we move on to the French version? I see someone with a hand up, so I'm just, feel free to unmute and ask a question if you've got a question.
Can I continue the presentation in French, please?
Yep, I think we're good to go. Thanks, Dr. Raymond.
Thank you. Prévention du cancer. Alors, plusieurs études à travers le monde montrent les effets des cannabinoïdes sur la prévention et le traitement du cancer. Donc, Le cancer, c'est l'une des principales causes de mortalité et de morbidité dans le monde. Les traitements sont connus, ils sont très lourds, hein, et ils ont trop d'effets secondaires. Désormais, nous savons que les cannabinoïdes peuvent aider de manière naturelle dans la prévention et la prise en charge du cancer. Et ils sont considérés comme des traitements complémentaires et supplémentaires, pas des traitements principaux. Je dis bien complémentaires et supplémentaires. Ça veut dire c'est des compléments, des traitements adjuvants. Plusieurs témoignages dans le monde montrent l'action curative des cannabinoïdes sur l'inflammation, le diabète, le cancer, l'hypertension artérielle, les maladies chroniques. Plusieurs publications scientifiques aussi internationales le montrent également. Plusieurs études faites à travers le monde, je ne vais pas revenir là-dessus, montrent les effets des cannabinoïdes en tant qu'agent anti-cancer et aussi l'inhibition de l'angiogénèse via des mécanismes multiples qui sont définis et connus. Donc, l'effet sur les cancers du cerveau est connu. Ces publications sur le site Cancer Recherche en décembre 2012 le montrent. Tout le monde peut aller dans cette publication voir ce qui se passe. Donc, au niveau du cerveau, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure, prévention du glioblastome et traitement et prise en charge. Au niveau du sein, on a dit que des mécanismes, c'est des gens qui ont des cancers de sein dans les familles. La prise de cannabinoïdes peut limiter la progression du cancer, l'installation du cancer. Par les mécanismes que nous avons donnés, nous allons encore vous donner tout à l'heure là. Alors, ici, nous avons ici l'explication des mécanismes d'action des cannabinoïdes sur le cancer. Ce tableau n'est pas très clair comme celui de devant, mais sachez que généralement, on se rend compte que le mécanisme principal, c'est l'apoptose, inhibition de l'angiogénèse. Vous savez, quand il y a cellules cancéreuses, les facteurs de métastase et de diffusion, c'est l'angiogénèse. Il y a des nouveaux vaisseaux qui vont se former, ça va faciliter la diffusion du cancer. Et cette angiogénèse est liée même au cancer même, à la dysplasie cellulaire. Donc, le mécanisme principal, c'est que l'organisme va tuer la cellule cancéreuse avec l'aide des cannabinoïdes, qui ont un effet régulateur dans l'homéostasie, qui est le principe qui permet à l'organisme de maintenir ses constances. Et vous savez que ces cannabinoïdes sont déjà produits par le corps, mais pas en quantité suffisante. Mais les phytocannabinoïdes produits par Sokavu vont avoir un effet cumulatif sur les effets des cannabinoïdes dans le corps et favoriser l'homéostasie, c'est-à-dire réguler le fonctionnement normal de l'organisme. Voilà. Alors, dans la diapo suivante, nous voyons qu'il en est de même de ces cannabinoïdes contre les cancers du sang, les leucémies, les myélomes, les lymphomes. Ça a été démontré. C'est des études que nous allons compiler tous et c'est bon de savoir. Alors, il en est de même pour le cancer du poumon. La référence est là. Les effets sont positifs sur le cancer du poumon. Et puis, c'est un tableau ici qui résume en gros les différents récepteurs dans différents types de cancers, ainsi que les mécanismes d'action par l'autophagie, l'apoptose et autres, et l'inhibition AKT, qui entourent les effets des cannabinoïdes sur le cancer. Ces mécanismes d'action sont très variés et ça paraît un peu compliqué. Il était question pour nous de dire comment la prise de cannabinoïdes peut aider contre le cancer. Le reste, vraiment, c'est de le prendre si on est un individu prédisposé, atopique individuel. Donc, le cancer de l'estomac aussi n'est pas resté à côté. Plusieurs études ont montré les effets sur le cancer de l'estomac. Le cancer de la prostate, qui est l'une des causes de mortalité chez l'adulte au-delà de 50 ans, il a été démontré aussi que l'efficacité des cannabinoïdes dans la prévention et la prise en charge du cancer de la prostate in vitro et in vivo. Alors ici, vous avez le mode d'action des cannabinoïdes sur le cancer de la prostate et sur le cancer du sein. Hein. Nous voyons aussi que l'activation des récepteurs CB1, CB2, surtout les récepteurs CB2, vont entraîner, et ainsi que les récepteurs TRPV1, c'est le terme compliqué pour rien, parce qu'en dehors des récepteurs CB1, CB2, nous avons beaucoup d'autres récepteurs sur lesquels les cannabinoïdes peuvent agir. Voilà. Alors, l'activation de ces récepteurs va entraîner une série de mécanismes. Ne regardez pas tout ça, c'est compliqué tout ça. Ça implique l'ATP, l'AMP cyclique et autres. Mais ça aboutit à quoi? Ces mécanismes aboutissent à quoi? À la mort cellulaire programmée de la cellule cancéreuse, apoptose. C'est ça qu'on appelle l'apoptose. L'activation des récepteurs va entraîner l'apoptose. Et cette apoptose va inhiber la croissance cellulaire et l'arrêt de la croissance du cycle cellulaire. L'arrêt du cycle cellulaire. Donc, vous allez voir un ensemble de mécanismes ici qui s'associent pour empêcher la prolifération des cellules et lutter contre l'angiogénèse, en même temps contre les métastases. C'est que, en gros, c'est ce que ce schéma se résume en ça. Donc, l'activation de ces récepteurs réguliers, des récepteurs va avoir un effet sur l'expression des gènes codants pour l'affectation des cellules cancéreuses. Donc, ça, c'est un phénomène épigénétique au niveau des récepteurs qui agit directement dans la cellule. Vous voyez comment l'activation des récepteurs CB1 et CB2 ont un effet direct sur les cannabinoïdes, sur la lutte contre le cancer, la prévention du cancer et l'apoptose, la limitation de la prolifération cellulaire, la limitation de l'angiogénèse, qui sont tous des facteurs de prolifération et de diffusion du cancer. Les cellules métastasiques réactivent ces gènes dès qu'elles se trouvent dans un tissu sain. Vous voyez comment le mécanisme de l'homéostasie est activé ici. Pour ceux qui me comprennent, dans le cadre du médical, les cellules métastasiques réactivent ces gènes. Ça veut dire que quand vous avez des cellules métastasiques dans un tissu, il y a activation des récepteurs qui activent les gènes de codants pour la fabrication des cellules cancéreuses. C'est un blocage. Donc, les CBD vont agir en modulant l'expression des gènes, empêchant ainsi la croissance, la diffusion et la progression du cancer. Ils vont potentialiser l'effet de la chimiothérapie. Donc, sachez ici que l'alcool et le tabac accélèrent l'expression des gènes codants pour la cellule cancéreuse et aggravent le cancer. Il faut savoir ça, l'alcool et le tabac. Voilà. Alors, nous avons vu aussi tout à l'heure que les effets sur le cancer du foie sont connus. Plusieurs publications montrent les effets des cannabinoïdes sur le cancer du foie. Il en est de même du cancer du pancréas. Les références peuvent être données à qui veut le voir, qui veut les consulter. Donc, sur la peau aussi, nous avons fait des présentations sur les affections de la peau. Il en est de même de la vessie, du sarcome de Kaposi, des cancers digestifs, des cancers des voies biliaires. Et ici, nous allons voir donc comment est-ce que les cannabinoïdes agissent sur le sein pour non seulement prévenir le cancer du sein, mais inhiber la progression du cancer du sein. Donc, les mécanismes normaux dans le cancer du sein, c'est une croissance cellulaire incontrôlable, une angiogénèse incontrôlable, une métastase, une capacité à se métastaser. Mais ici, quand les cannabinoïdes vont intervenir, on va aboutir à l'induction de l'apoptose et l'inhibition de la prolifération des cellules cancéreuses et l'inhibition de l'angiogénèse. Donc, ainsi qu'on va aussi parler de l'inhibition de l'adhésion, de la migration et de l'invasion. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Oui? Oui. Je vous appelle, vous ne prenez pas depuis. Les messieurs sont là. Les messieurs sont là. Touchez monsieur le premier secrétaire. Merci. Oui, je suis là. Je reviens vers vous. J'ai fini ma présentation. Excusez-moi. Donc, c'est très embarrassant. Mr. Zen, very embarrassing. I cannot do two things at the same time. I think, Mr. Zen, you can do two things at the same time. Me, I cannot. Est-ce que vous me suivez? OK. Donc, Nous disons ici que les mécanismes physiopathologiques des cancers sont variés. La dysplasie, la multiplication anarchique, l'angiogénèse, la métastase, le cancer généralisé, qui éventuellement agit, va vers le décès. Donc l'action des cannabinoïdes contre le cancer, leur mécanisme est connu, comme le témoignent toutes les recherches qu'on a compilées. C'est l'apoptose, c'est le blocage de la prolifération des cellules cancéreuses, c'est le blocage de l'angiogénèse, c'est l'inhibition de l'adhésion, de la migration et de l'invasion. Nous avons expliqué ça en anglais tout à l'heure. L'adhésion, c'est que les cellules cancéreuses ont cette manie d'adhérer et d'attaquer les cellules normales. Elles ont cette manie de migrer et elles ont cette manie d'envahir les cellules normales et les organes aussi. Donc, au niveau biomoléculaire, qu'est-ce qui se passe? L'activation des récepteurs CB1 et CB2 au niveau chimique et neurosynaptique entraîne une série de réactions qui vont entraîner l'apoptose, l'inhibition de la croissance cellulaire et l'inhibition du cycle cellulaire. Merci pour votre bien aimable attention. Désolé pour le dérangement. Merci.
Thank you, Dr. Raymond. I don't understand French. I took French in junior high, but that doesn't mean that I recognize any words. I could hear croissant in there, and I think that's just because I'm hungry.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You always do such an amazing job. So I loved hearing the English version and then seeing the slides in French, because then I felt like I knew a little bit more. But I was just going to let you know my husband's first wife died of breast cancer, and it runs very prevalent in her family. Cancer runs very, very heavily in her family. So I have 2 stepkids that have those genes, and it was so great to be able to hear all the preventative that can do for them. So I'm so glad. Thank you so much for all of that research. Sorry, Zane, go ahead and finish us out. Rosa, it looks like there's a comment, but it's in French. Can you answer that?
J'ai communiqué tous les numéros de téléphone à Blandine. Aujourd'hui, j'ai appelé partout.
It's another question in English that a lot of people need THC to fight cancer. So I don't know. I think doctor can read the other one.
J'ai pris des dispositions.
So the one from Jean. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe just thanking Dr. Raymond for the presentation. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't tell. Okay, so we're changing the time of these Saturday calls to the time that we did today, right? Which is 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I have a couple people that are hopping on right now that probably didn't know of the time change. So we're changing these Saturday calls to be 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So let's see, that puts us 11 o'clock Eastern time. Is that right, Rosa? So then for you.
Yes, it's 10 o'clock Central Time for us.
Okay, 10 o'clock
So if we
Central.
had it at 11 o'clock, most people will be Eastern Time, 12 noon, which is late for them to participate.
Yeah.
So that's
so
why we moved it to this time. But
Yeah,
it seems
so
as
we're
if
just getting
a
the
lot of
word out,
people-
right?
Yeah, a lot of reps, I think, did not really get the time right. I think next week we'll get it.
No, we're good. And we'll try to send, we did send a text right at the beginning of the call, but we'll try to send that again
Okay.
next week. Zane, are you able to unmute? I know he was having some computer issues, so I'm not sure if he's able to unmute and send us off, but
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
yeah, we can hear you.
Mhm.
Do you have a
Oui,
question?
Oui, je voudrais m'adresser beaucoup plus au docteur Njoumet, que j'ai suivi la présentation qu'il a dit, et je voudrais le contacter pour qu'il puisse m'aider. Parce que je ne peux pas parler maintenant, c'est long. pour quel produit acheter pour mon mari, ma mère, comment me donner des conseils, quoi. Donc, je voulais juste comment le contacter par WhatsApp pour lui expliquer exactement ce que je veux.
Okay. I don't know. I think Dr. Njuma is occupied. So, Tammy, she's saying that she will contact Dr. Raymond to find out what product she needs for her mother or her father, I think father-in-law or the entire family. So that's what she is really interested. And she also understood the presentation given in French.
Yeah. I need his contact. I need. I don't have his contact, so I need it.
Okay, can I? Okay. What's your name?
Jean-Laurence Taker.
Okay, can I, let me see.
And Zane might be able to help as well. I don't know if you want to translate. Zane might be able to give.
Can I give you my number to call me?
Okay. Okay.
Or WhatsApp? I think
Okay.
it's plus 237 817
Wait, 237
817
817
320
320.
9762.
No, are you in America or in Cameroon? 237 is in Cameroon.
Rosa is in America. You can also send me an email, support@sukavu.com. I'm going to add it into the chat and I can get the information to you.
Okay.
Okay, does that work? Okay. So Zane is having troubles unmuting. So we're gonna go ahead and end our call. But are there any other questions before
Yes, just Monsieur, Madame Laurent, do you remember the person who invited you to the meeting?
Marie Ayota.
Okay. All right, okay. I'm here with her, so I'll let her know. I will get in touch with you right away. I'm sure she has your number.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you all for joining us. Once again, we've changed the time, so it's going to be 1 hour earlier than we have been doing it. So
Okay.
those of you who just hopped on, I am so sorry. But we're all done with our call for today, but we're changing the time. It's going to be 1 hour earlier. So next week, hop on 1 hour earlier than normal. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, if you have any questions, reach out to the person who invited you to this call, or feel free to reach out to support. That's me, support@sukavu.com, and I'll be happy to get any answers that I can for you. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.